Hello, everyone. We are on live in YouTube and Facebook. Thank you very much for being connected. It is an honor to announce that Tom Paladino and myself we are starting this podcast, which is called Tesla Podcast. And here is also Tom with me. He's in Florida from his lab, and I'm here in Mount Shasta, California. And so we decided to go with this podcast because there's a lot of information that we want to share that always people is asking, and Tom Paladino has such a knowledge and wisdom about everything related with the Tesla energy, which is also scalar energy. So the first episode today is called The Mystery of Tesla Energy. So here is Tom with me. How are you, Tom?
I am well. Patricia, it's always a pleasure to work with you. Thank you.
My pleasure. So I've been with Tom working for 2 years already, and we've been giving conferences around the world, and there is never enough time to share all this information and all the details about scalar energy, and especially about those scientific that as being they're being like hidden in the history. And so today we're going to start talking about, of course, Nikola Tesla, which is considered the father of the century 20th, I'll say, because of the discovering things that he did. And but I want you to, Tom, please tell us about Nikola Tesla. That I know he was your main inspiration in the work you do, and also about what you've been doing all these 30 years with this knowledge.
You're right. Tesla has always fired my imagination. One of the greatest scientists of all time. What I've noticed about Tesla, he had two careers. He began working with AC electricity. He began as an electrical engineer. And later in his life, he recognized that there was another energy. He called it radiant energy. I call it scalar energy. And he perfected scalar energy instruments. Well, behind me are some scalar energy instruments that I've modeled off of Tesla's work, off of the work of Nikola Tesla. So, not only was he a great electrical engineer, but he was the first man to harness scalar energy. And to this day, nobody has matched his intellect. Nobody's been able to come close to his inventions and what he's discovered. So, in many ways, I admire him, and I'm trying to follow up as best I can with his research.
What is specifically what he discovered about scalar energy?
He called it radiant energy. He knew that he called it the kinetic energy of the universe. So imagine if we have electricity, we need some type of induction motor, we need a power plant or some type of turbine or armature. What am I getting at? Those are physical models. Tesla knew that you did not need a physical model to create scalar energy. He realized scalar energy was from the sun and the stars. So instead of creating an engine or a motor, you simply tap into the energy with scalar energy. So, if you will, the motor, the engine are the stars. And this was what Tesla realized. And he felt that that kinetic energy from the stars would serve to power the world. He was right. And I'm following up with his research. Someday we will have free energy devices from the sun and the stars.
What do you think that happened to him? Because there are many stories about why this knowledge was suppressed, or what really happened. Because we should be enjoying the free energy right now, and we're not. So why we're not enjoying that? What happened?
You're right. There is suppression. Tesla demonstrated free energy instruments over 100 years ago, and his experiments were valid. Well, why aren't we using that? There was an act of suppression back in the day, and it was the international bankers that were after Tesla. The international bankers felt threatened by this technology. What you're looking at there is the Wardenclyffe Tower. That's located in Long Island, New York. Now it's since has been razed, it's been torn down, demolished, but that was a free energy tower. And if you look at that tower at the very top, it's a copper surmounted by a copper bowl or copper dome, and that's what controlled the energy that would harness the energy from the sun and the stars. So this is the free energy of the future, scalar energy, the energy of the sun and the stars, and it is being suppressed. This will change industry. This will change the business climate. This will change the world. And that's why it's presently being suppressed.
Okay, so you have your own lab there with you, and you've been working there for years.
Yes.
Um, if I understand well, you pretty much have the legacy of Nikola Tesla, what he did. But after Nikola Tesla, a great scientific, do a great job, and you met his wife, and you
Yes.
made his work. That was Galen Hieronymus.
Yes.
Galen Hieronymus was also working with NASA, and big experiments that people knew. I mean, that was on the news. That was the government was aware of this, and even with that, his investigation, it's being like hidden as well, and not recognized by the scientific community. So can you tell us your story about this work with Galen Hieronymus?
Yes. I never met the inventor Galen Hieronymus. I met his wife Sarah Hieronymus, and they had a laboratory in the state of Georgia. And I was able to experiment with scalar energy instruments beginning in 1993. Now these were instruments designed by Galen Hieronymus, the inventor. And that really, again, was a well, I would say a watershed event in my scientific career. The fact that I could have hands-on experience with scalar energy instruments, and I did not have to create those instruments. They were already created by Galen Hieronymus. So that was a gigantic head start for me, so to speak. Well, through that association with Sarah Hieronymus, Sarah Hieronymus, taught me how to use scalar energy instruments. And she allowed me to enter into the laboratory of Dr. Hieronymus and work with his instruments and read his notes. And you're right, Hieronymus, during his day, was working with various government agencies in the United States of America. And since then, his work has been suppressed. So we ask ourselves why these two great scientists, why they have so much to offer mankind, but to this day, their discoveries, their research is suppressed. Well, it's rather apparent. When you have an invention that's so profound that can impact so many lives and change the economy, this type of research is suppressed. It will change our political system. It will change industry. It will change our modern day lifestyle. So free energy, as we know it today, is real. It's very much a prospect for the future, and I hope I can introduce free energy instruments and serve to change the course of history for the better.
It is amazing how many things could Hieronymus prove in his lab and also in his farm, because he was also working with plants. Is that you in the picture?
That is, I was visiting the Hieronymus Laboratory in Georgia, and I stopped by Plains, Georgia.
Okay. So he was also working with plants in a farm, and and he was doing experiments with plants. Can you tell us what he was doing, and what was that what he could prove?
Hieronymus was able to work with farmers and and ranchers, and he was able to work with their crops or their orchards or fruit trees. Hieronymus could take photographs from farms or tree orchards and treat out pests or some type of insect or some type of a fungus or bacteria from that tree. So this is now over 50, 60, 70 years ago. Hieronymus was using photographs sent to him by farmers, and he was able to eradicate pests or some type of microorganism that was infecting trees. Now, it was quite profound, and he had great success in so doing. And I'm trying to relive that, and I'm trying to revive that with farmers and people in the agricultural community, in which we can identify a pathogen that's infecting crops or trees and eradicate those pathogens. It's possible. Hieronymus did it, and I can duplicate his results.
That is amazing. That is amazing, Tom, because I was also reading about this guy called Cled Baxter, that he was an interrogator of some government organization like CIA, and he could also prove that the plants uh, can have feelings, and they can get sick, and they can also heal. And that is also pretty much part of this Hieronymus experiment with plants, because they can really feel
Right?
even remotely. So can you tell more about
Yeah,
this relationship with these experiments?
yeah, you're absolutely right. This man Baxter, he apparently was doing polygraph work at one time, and he realized that if he would attach his polygraph to a plant, that plant could understand voice commands, and many times he would have a reading from that plant if he threatened that plant, or the plant would show a sign of euphoria if he would praise that plant. So, what's the point? Apparently, plants can pick up what our energy thoughts are, our expression, or at least our voice command. It's quite profound. What does that prove? That proves that everything is animated by energy, including plants, and that plants can respond to voice commands.
That's amazing. That means that also energy as voice, it's information.
That's right.
It's a message. So
Yes.
they can receive the
Yeah.
thoughts, the feeling, the words, and of course the energy.
Yeah. It's the spoken word. The word, when we speak, it carries force, it carries a command. So what you say is powerful. And this is what's been witnessed by so many people in the energy field. I witnessed that. My instruments can carry a thought. The instruments behind me, scalar energy instruments, are really consciousness instruments. They're thought instruments. They work at the speed of thought. So, thought or the spoken word, all of that is an expression of energy, scalar energy.
It means that we can improve our crops, the fruits, the plants, and we can help them to heal from fungus through scalar energy.
That's correct. Yes, I'm working with ohia trees in the state of Hawaii. The ohia trees are suffering from a fungus, and that fungus can now be eradicated with these instruments. Now, I don't live in Hawaii. People simply send me photographs from Hawaii of the ohia trees, and I'm able to eradicate the fungus of the ohia trees. All of this is done through a photograph. These instruments only work with photographs. They don't work with people or animals or plants. So when I work with photographs, it's a different dimension that I'm working with. This is not electricity. It's the dimension of the aura or the spirit. All of my work is non-physical. And I can prove that because a photograph has non-physical energy attached to it. It has scalar energy attached to it.
And that is also what Galen Hieronymus was doing in his farm. almost 100 years ago,
Yes.
and he could also prove that,
Yes.
right?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
why is happening in the world that we are not using this technology for us, for our plants, for our pets? What is going on? This is such a wonderful tool that we have as humans uh, to
It
to
is.
to
It,
prevent also.
in many ways, it's manipulation, and the media plays a part of that. The media is not helping promote this type of research. If anything, the media ignores this type of research. Well, why? Well, there's vested interest. The people, the international bankers control the media sources today, many of the major media sources. So we have to rely upon the people to get the word out. It's a grassroots movement. And this is the reality that I have to face every day. Although these instruments can perform incredible functions, nonetheless, we have to go about this one person at a time. It's a grassroots movement.
Yes, yes, we have to, and this is part of what we're doing right now. Let me tell you guys that we are in Tesla Podcast. This is our first episode. We're gonna be transmitting every Wednesday at the same time, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time. And please write us, send text messages about the kind of subjects you like Tom to develop to talk about, because we're gonna be sharing very cool information here. And also going back to Galen Hieronymus, because Galen Hieronymus was the first scientist that developed scalar light instruments. So, what is specifically what he could prove with these devices that is now a great tool for you and the work you're doing nowadays?
What Hieronymus proved that is there's another energy besides electricity. Now, Hieronymus himself was an advanced electrical engineer, a genius in his own right. But later in his career, he discovered scalar energy. So these two great men, Tesla and Hieronymus, they both were electrical engineers, but later in their life, they had such a profound understanding of electricity, they realized that electricity could be converted into scalar energy and vice versa. They realized that there were two energies. And again, just an incredible discovery on their part. And I think they were working autonomously. I don't think they ever collaborated, not that I know of. So what does this prove? From two men who are working independently, they both proved the existence of scalar energy and they both developed instruments. And furthermore, Hieronymus secured a U.S. patent for his free energy device. Now, all of that speaks volumes that, yes, this is a valid science, and this valid science should be embraced. And little by little, as they say, we're getting the word out.
Okay,
Right.
so one of these instruments, of course, you have perfection in this instrument, but it's behind you, and I would like to see what this instrument can do with the energy, and also how that can affect us
Okay.
if we are there in your lab, let's say, being like in a present like you or in some other way.
Okay. So the instrument behind me is a scalar energy instrument, and I only work with photographs. When I'm working with these instruments, I never work with people. I work with photographs. A photograph has a force field or an aura or some type of energy center to it. And I actually take a person's photograph or a photograph of an animal or a tree, a plant, and I place it inside the instrument. Now, my photograph is now being subjected to scalar energy. It's as if my aura or as if my spirit is now being influenced by this instrument. So it's not a biological process, it's an informational process.
Okay, and can we see with the light bulb that experiment that I love that experiment because this is Nikola Tesla could did that I could do that like 100 years ago, and I still don't understand why we're not having free energy all over the world. And please show us how do you do that with the scalar energy field.
Tesla called his energy radiant energy. Today we use the term scalar energy. Some people use the term ether energy. So, as a quick experiment, I'm holding in my hand a fluorescent tube. It's still in its plastic factory packaging. Now, there's so much energy coming off the Tesla coil, it will light up the light bulb. It'll illuminate the light bulb.
Awesome.
So, what am I getting at? There's so much energy from the instrument, it illuminates a light bulb that I hold in my hand. The point being is that this energy fills the laboratory. When I'm in this laboratory and I'm working for an hour or two, I feel so much energy. I receive so much energy on a daily basis here. Um, I
I
really,
experienced that myself when I was there.
yeah,
Yes.
it has
It's amazing.
changed my demeanor. Being in the midst of these instruments for years, it's changed. It's improved my health. It's changed me for the better.
Okay, but now it's not just you, it's also the pictures that you are placing in the instrument. So it doesn't work not only for people's photograph in the instrument, but for plants and for
Yes,
animals.
yes, correct, correct.
So in this episode, because we are not gonna get into other many details that we're gonna go later on in other episodes, but since I'm living here in Mount Shasta and I have many trees that got fungus, the other day the guy was the gardener that came and was helping me. He said that the only way to heal the trees is by cutting the fungus and taking them off, taking them out. So we're starting today an experiment. This is serious, and we're gonna check it on this like every month and see how it's going. Because I took the pictures of all my trees around the area. I sent them to Tom a few days ago, 2 days ago. I don't know if we have some videos about the trees with the fungus. I don't know if we can see them here. Here they are. Okay. Uh, leave only that image so people can see very well the trees. Only solo los árboles. Okay, great. Okay, so that is my house here, the land of my property, and have lots of fungus. So this guy said that the only way to heal them is cutting them, and as you can see, there are many, and they are very, very high in the tree. So now Tom is starting treating these trees in his lab, and we're gonna see if this is working on the distance by photograph. His lab is in Florida, I am in California. He only has the pictures of my trees. So what should I expect with this treatment by Scalar Light, Tom?
What I've experienced over the course of months, once this fungus has been destroyed, eradicated, the the uh, the trees will become greener and they won't be as disfigured. It'll take time because once you have a disfigured tree, it has to regrow sometimes leaves or branches. But over the next 3 to 4 months, you'll see that spotting, you'll see that discoloration disappear because new growth will assume. So, what the fungus has destroyed, many of those branches, trees, leaves, etc., ferns will fall off, and in replacement will be new growth that will not be infected by a fungus. It takes time, but after 3 or 4 months, you'll see a discernible difference just by observing it with your eye, the naked eye.
Well, I'm so excited to see the results on this. I've seen results on myself with scalar energy because I used to have a herpes and because I feel just great every day and I'm receiving scalar energy every day. So, Tom, we're going to talk more about this in our next episode.
Okay.
And I invite people to write us to tell us what you want to know more about. And also, I keep you guys posted with the results of my trees and the fungus and see what happened, because there are so many, like to get into the, climb the tree and take them off. And I really don't want to see my trees die because of fungus. So let's see if this work with the trees. And well, we're going to see you guys soon, next episode. Tom, anything else that you might like to say before
No, you put
getting?
that so eloquently. Thank you so much, Patricia. And help us, people, with this new technology. Let's change the world. This will improve your lifestyle. Help us.
Yes,
Thank
and of course, I'd like to remind you that you can get into the www.scalarlight.com. And in scalarlight.com, you can get a free trial of Scalar Energy for 15 days and experience yourself the blessing of receiving this divine energy. And that is something that we're going to talk in next episode, because this is also considered divine energy.
you.
So if you end the next episode of Tesla podcast, thank you very much
Thank you.
for being here with us. Thank you, Tom.
God bless you. Thank you.